Okay guys, I've made my way out to the edge of town and I'm still in a public area. There's no avoiding that, obviously, in an urban scenario. But what I wanted to go over with you is my EDC kit. What have I been carrying around town the whole time? Now, it's hot. It's 90 plus degrees today, you noticed. I'm in shorts, wearing tennis shoes. The gray man theory, do I blend in with everyone around me? Absolutely, I look like everybody else. Can you tell that I have multiple weapons and tools on my person at this time? Nope, just look like another heavyset tourist, right? That's the goal. That's ultimately what being a gray man really means. Blending in with your environment and your surroundings. So, with that said, make sure who's around. We'll start going through some of the items I've got on my person. All right, number one, I have my EDC knife here. Two, obviously I have my pistol here. Three, I have a center line carry here. Four, another pocket knife. I have handkerchief. Of course, I'm going to have my wallet with me. So I got my wallet. There's other tools in there as well. I have my backup magazine here. In a hidden zipper pocket, I have some additional items. I have a couple challenge coins, which I'll discuss in a moment. Of course, I've got my lighter, and I have 12 foot of Kevlar cordage. The last thing I have is a covert handcuff escape key. Alright guys, I'm sitting here at the edge of this park still. Obviously the firearm should be something small, covert, something that you can pack away. It doesn't make an imprint on your body. That's what I've done successfully with this. This is a Glock 43X, very slim line, super awesome pistol. Very happy with this item. So with this type of item, I like to carry it center line in a deep clip right here, and that way no visible print at all. It's very comfortable sitting down for me, and even when I'm driving, I notice that if I just cant it slightly to the side, I can carry it there center line without issue. It's just the way I choose to carry. This would be my EDC weapon. I also have a smaller version of this if you wanted to go with a Springfield Hellcat, or if you don't want to spend that much money and you want a ditch type weapon, something that, you know, if it was taken or procured lawfully or unlawfully, that you're not going to cry all night about it, maybe you'll go with a Kel-Tec or something far less expensive. Again, options, it's firepower. One thing I did forget to mention was on my wrist, because it's so nonchalant, right? You remember the old survival bracelets? Well, this one actually has 15 foot of paracord. Of course, it's got the little cheap compass and it's got the ferro rod built in and the whistle. But the most important thing, this orange line down the center is actually a survivor cord. So it's got snare wire. I actually have 10 foot of snare wire built in here. I have 10 foot of fishing line, and then of course I have 10 foot of waxed jute or fire starting cord, just all in this bracelet. So another simple, discreet way to carry some tools with you. You know, if you go into a courthouse or something like that, yeah, it might be taken or whatever, but you know, by and large, it's very, very common nowadays, right? So anyway, let's get back to what we're dealing with. Of course, you have your spare mags. You're always going to carry a spare mag with you. I've got 12 foot of Kevlar cord. Now, Kevlar cord can be used for sewing repairs, be used for a variety of different things, but this will also cut through PVC pipe, and you can even cut through very small pieces of wood if you had to. But PVC pipe and things like that to access water, this is very handy for that. And of course, cutting through zip ties and all those type of restraints, this comes in handy. And this, I mean, takes up no space whatsoever. very easy to conceal. I could drop this in my shoe, under the sole of my shoe, put this in a variety of different places. You'd never know it's there. I've been carrying it in my pocket all the time, don't even know it's around. Bic lighters, yellow are the most desirable color. Yellow and orange, they just stand out. They're easy to find. If I drop it, I'm going to find it more than likely. But Bics can't go wrong. I've got a variety of knives. This is my go-to. It's just nice, discreet, legal. If I was stopped and I had a fixed blade knife, this is a utility knife size, right at a 3-inch blade. Doesn't look dangerous, but it's very dangerous if you know how to use this thing properly. Wonderful fighting knife. You can do a lot of damage with this. Wonderful chore and utility knife that you can use in a variety of different ways and carry styles. This pocket knife is a simple tactical folder. This is a ditch knife. If I had to use this for a defensive situation or for general chores and use, if it was taken, I wouldn't care. You know, it's a $20 knife. It could be used and ditched. And this is the one I'm going to go through, or try to get through rather, as a first line of defense. If I have to go into a non-permissive area, this is the one I'm taking. This is a go-to knife. This is the one I'm going to cache somewhere that I can come back to at a later time. This is a very unique tool. This is made out of G10. There is no metal in this entire system whatsoever. This is meant to be passed through metal detectors and the like. So it does not have any type of signature. It's been tested and proven. This is made by Black Triangle Group. So this is strictly a stabbing weapon. So it is a defensive weapon only. So with this type of weapon, I like to carry it center line next to my firearm. So if I needed to deploy it, it sits deep in the waistband so I can pull it up and I can deploy it as I'm clearing and pulling out my weapon. Just a wonderful defensive tool with no metal signature. This has been passed through many metal detectors without issue. Don't ask me how I know. Single-use covert handcuff key. This is something you could put in your shoe, in your wallet, in your pocket deep. You know, use your imagination on where you can put this thing. It's a single use. It's probably going to break after you use it on a legitimate pair of cuffs, but if you needed something or you're in a high-risk area of being restrained unlawfully, something like this may get you out of that bind. Now, standard wallet. Nothing special about the wallet, nothing special about what's in the wallet. I don't carry a lot of cash. I keep a lot of singles in here because I don't like carrying a lot of cash with me, at least not in my wallet, right? So singles are for show, just to show I don't have any money. Here's what I got. I got a handful of dollars. Beyond that, what I do carry in here is a fire starting device, and that's my Fresnel lens. So I'm going to carry my, it's actually Fresnel lens, but I say Fresnel lens, local colloquialism. So Fresnel lens or Fresnel lens, this is what I carry. Magnification card for you simpletons. So that's what I'm going to carry. Obviously, simple bandana, can't go wrong. Snot rag, towel, variety of different uses, right? So I'm always going to have some type of piece of cloth if I need to char it or something like that. Now, these fancy little coins here, all right? These are really barter items or social engineering tools. If I need to gain entrance or make a friend or do something to grease the wheels, so to speak, this is something that can open a door for me. So it can cause you know, a conversation to occur, can make a transaction take place. So if I got in a bind and I needed a specific resource, I don't care if I'm just passing through town and I'm kind of in a rush, things are going on, and I'm just like, hey man, can I just fill up my water here? Or can I borrow some first aid items? Or can I get this candy bar? Whatever the case may be, giving someone something simple like simple coin or something personal that's shiny and has a perceived value is going to be able to cause that person to look the other way in the moment or open a new opportunity for you. So These are just some things to consider as it relates to carrying EDC, and this is just something that I make a regular practice out of carrying. This is my actual fire department coin, and this is my actual search and rescue or first responders coins. So I have plenty of these to go around, so it's something that I can use to open those doors when needed. Anyway, this simple kit comprises an example of a common EDC that I carry that, as you could tell, didn't make a print on me. It's very unobtrusive, but I've got multiple weapons with me. I've got cordage, I've got fabric, I've got social disruption capability, potentially. Of course, I've got access to my standard money, and I got a few bucks with me, and I didn't get into my cell phone, which I'll get into as we get into our bug out bag or kit. In the cell phone, you know, I'm going to keep money and some additional tools with the cell phone, and cell phones are something that are just glued to our bodies nowadays, so that's kind of a common sense EDC item that I didn't want to really introduce at this stage. But hopefully this will give you some things to consider, think about. Remember, you have to do what works for you. So dressing like this isn't going to work in your area. If you work in a more urbanized area and you have to wear a suit to work, suit and tie, well, by gosh, you're going to have to adapt a system similar to this to fit your personal needs and what you can take into and out of your workplace. So you're going to put a lot of these other items that I can carry on a daily basis, those are going to have to go into your vehicle kit or perhaps your bug out bag. So just keep all that in mind as we progress through these kits.